So, okay, good morning to everyone. So, today we will see the components of a scroll bar. The in AWT class, we have explained that the scroll bar. Then, if it is used in the swing, then its name is called J scroll bar. But the function is same. Now, what are the functions of the scroll bar? The functions of the scroll bar is the object of the scroll bar class. Means the scroll bar is the class. So the object of the J scroll bar class is used to add. We have seen that how with horizontal and vertical scroll bar. We have seen that during AWT components when we have discussed that we have two types of scroll bar present. One is horizontal and another is vertical. These two types of scroll bar are present. So that means what? The object of the J scroll bar class, because this scroll bar class will have to be what? We have to create the object of the J scroll bar class. So when the object of the J scroll bar class is used, we add the horizontal or vertical scroll bar because these are the two types of scroll bar. So this J scroll bar class, that means this J scroll bar class inherits, it inherits J component class because we already know that component class is what? This is the super class and all the components that present will inherit this component class. So that means what? J scroll bar class. It is used in the swing, so it will be J scroll bar class. So J scroll bar class will inherit from J component class. So now we will see the program, and through the program I will explain that how it can be used. So first, without any event handling, we'll see that how the scroll bar should be created without any event handling procedure. So first, let's start our program. So now we will do what? We will create the scroll bar. So how we can create the scroll bar? So we are not first in the first program, we are not doing any event handling. So that means what? That means we do not have to use some event handling code. We only what? We only import the swing package, only import the swing package because we didn't in the first program, we will not do any event handling. So that means event handling package should not be imported only. If we import the swing package, then our program will be done. So first let's start today's program. So first we have to import our package for swing programming. This is the package. We already known that. Next, we create class scroll bar and we name it scroll bar example. Okay. So then we will use this is the name, scroll bar example is the class name we used. So we have to do what? We have to use the constructor here because we have to create the object. We have to create the object. That means what? For creating the object, we have to use the constructor. So next, what we do, first we create the frame. First we create the frame. So first we have created the frame, and inside this we have want to be written that it will be scroll bar example. So example. So we have created the frame class object. The frame should be created, and after this, in the top of the frame, it will be written as the scroll bar example. So we, as a parameter, we have passed it. So the next, what we will use, we have to create, we are using the scroll bar here. So that means what? We have to create the object of JScrollBar class. So we are creating scroll bar class. We are naming as means R. This is the object name. So JScrollBar R equal to new J scroll bar. Okay, so that means what? Our scroll bar class object is created. We have created the frame class object, and then we have created the scroll bar class object. So after that, what we have to do? We have to fix the position of the scroll bar. So that means what? We have to call the set bounds method. We have to call the set bounds method through scroll bar class object. Then only what? Then only our scroll bar, then only our scroll bar position will be fixed. So we are calling it with the object r dot set bounds. So that means what? This set bounds method will do fix the position of the scroll bar, and we are calling this set bounds method with scroll bar object. That means now the scroll bar position will be fixed. So we already know that as a parameter, we have to send x1, y1 and x2, y2 coordinate. So we are sending here x1, y1 and x2, y2. So these are passed. After that, what we have to do? Now the scroll bar position is fixed. We have fixed the scroll bar position. That means what? Now we have to add this scroll bar into the frame, because the scroll bar should be present in the frame. So that means what? We have to call add method. We have to call the add method with frame class object, and as a parameter, what we will send? Scroll bar object. So that means the scroll bar will be added to the frame. So after that, we already know that now the scroll bar is added to the frame. So what? There are some functions we use, that set size, then set visible, then another one is set layout. So this set layout, set visible, and then set size. Through this, what? Through set size, we will fix the size. Then set layout, the default layout or any of the layout, border layout, card layout, grid layout, whatever you will use, that layout should be chosen. And through set visible method, the component should be visible or not. We determine that. So we, every functions, each and every of these functions, we are calling it with what? We are calling it with the, here we will call it with the frame class object. So we are calling it frame class object, means all these operations will be performed on over the frame. So that means f dot, we are calling first set size. That means frame size will be fixed. We know there are two parameters, height and width. So we are sending height and width. Okay, so some things have happened. That's why I have stopped. So now what we'll do, first we have fixed the size of the frame. Then we know the command is set layout. Set layout, and in this layout, we are calling null. That means default layout will be chosen. Now, in which over which component this should be done, we are wanting that this should be done on the what? In the frame. So that means we are calling this set layout method with frame class object. Okay. Same as that, frame dot means frame class object dot set visible method, because now through set visible method, what we will see, through set visible method, we will see that the frame is visible or not. We know that it takes two parameters, the Boolean status, either it is true or it is false. If it is true, that means it can be shown. But if it is false, that means what? That means this is cannot be shown. So we want that our frame should be shown. So we'll pass true. Then what? Our constructor is completed. Now in this constructor, we have done everything. And after that, simple as that, we will call the main method. The main method should be used public void, public static void main. Public static void main, and in this main, inside this main, what we will do, inside this main, we will call the class we have created. We have created the object of the class which we have created. So we will call this inside the main. So new scroll bar, and the name, what we use here, scroll bar example we have used here. So this should be called, we have called it. So that means our program has done. So let's check it. So first save as, we'll save it as a scroll bar example, because the name should be same of the class name. So scroll bar example dot java. So in the documents we have saved it. So that means now through command prompt we will run this program. So that means cd documents, then java c scroll bar example dot java. Okay, so that means we have used different. So see, it is correctly compiled, and the bytecode, we know that after the compilation of the Java program, the bytecode is created. So that means this bytecode has already been created, and that's why it is showing that after compilation it is right. So now what we'll do, we'll run it and see a scroll bar is created. This is the scroll bar. So this is what you can see, that after pressing it, you see, this is the scroll bar. We are using this. So this is the scroll bar is created. And in the top, it is showing that the scroll bar example, whichever, sorry, one minute. So whichever we have sent here, that inside it will be scroll bar example in the frame, in the top of the frame, it should be written that a scroll bar example, it is written here. And what this, at the position, in this position, the scroll bar is created. Okay. So it is clear to everyone that how scroll bar, programming of the scroll bar we have done. Riya, Shubham.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what, this is, we have created the only the scroll bar. So now if we want some event should be generated, then if we want that some event should be generated by the scroll bar, some event should be generated, then what we will use for, if any event generated by button, then we use the action listener. This interface we always use for if any event generated by the button. But in this program, we want that the scroll bar will generate some event. So if the scroll bar will generate some event, then which we will use? Which listener we will use? We will use adjustment listener. We will use adjustment listener. So from this, you are, if you use the sense of you, that means adjustment, all the adjustments will be done, this adjustment listener. So what we will use here, we will do that how it should be done in this program. If we want to use the event handling method, then already in the previous classes we have seen what package should be imported. Anyone? What package should be imported here? Can anyone tell me that which package should be imported if we want to use event handling program? Anyone? Kunal? Yeah, can you tell me that which package should be imported if we want for event handling? Anyone, please respond. Can you say me? Anyone? Riya, Kunal, Shubham? Can you say me? If you remember, I think if you remember that, then which package we should import? Import java dot awt dot event. Simple, that this package should be imported. This package should be imported here. For any event handling, this package should be imported. Now, what we will do, we want that event should be generated by the scroll bar. event should be generated by the scroll bar. So that means first, same as that, the frame should be created. We have already created here the frame. Then what changes we have to done? We want that it will show something in the label. There will be a text written. A text will be written and it will show the value. So that means what? The text will be written over the frame. So that means what? That means we have to create the level. We have to create the level. So we have to create the level means we have to create the levels class object. We have to create the level class object. So J level and equal to new J level, and we declare it as final. That means this cannot be what? This cannot, the value of this cannot be changed. Through all the program, this will be same. So that's why what we created the levels class object. And this after level class object, what we have used in the previous example of the combo, yes, in the previous example of the list, you have seen that what we will use, we will use the set horizontal method. We should use the set horizontal method. So that means set horizontal horizontal alignment. This is the functions set horizontal alignment, and as a parameter, what we will say, we will call JLevel dot center. We will call that, and over which element we will do, it will be do over the level. So that means it is called with the level object. Sorry, it will be level object. So level dot set horizontal alignment. That means now over the level, these functions will be done. After that, we have to do what? We have to set the size of the level, because we want that the level size should be fixed. So that means set size method will be called with level object. So we have done that. And after that, same as the previous, this scroll bar class object should be used, and we use as a final. Okay. Then the scroll bar positions will be fixed, and we will add if dot only here I have that the level scroll bar is added to the frame. Same as that, the level should be added to the frame also. So we have to use label. So this changes. If you observe, I am saying that this changes should be done. So that means now the level is also added to the frame. So it is same as that, the frame size, then frame layout, then visible. Same as that we will use here also. And then what we will do, we will use the, here we are using that the scroll bar will generate an event. So that means what? That means we have to use some listener. So we have already said that if any event generated by the scroll bar, then which listener will handle this. This will be handled by the adjustment listener. So what is the object of the scroll bar? The object of the scroll bar is R dot add, then adjustment listener, adjustment listener, and this will be R dot adjustment listener, and inside it we will call new adjustment listener. So what we have created now, the scroll bar is added to the scroll bar is the source. If we observe the delegation model, there is a source and there is a listener. So what the scroll bar is now the source that is added to the adjustment listener, because any event that is generated by the scroll bar will be handled by the adjustment listener. In the case of button, we have seen action listener. Here it is adjustment listener for any event generated by the scroll bar. So that means now if you observe there will be what abstract method will be present. In case of button, what are the abstract method? What is the abstract method present there? Public void action performed. Here it is public void adjustment value change. Public void adjustment value change. Public void adjustment value value changed. This is, and there is the action event E. Here it will be adjustment event as parameter. It will be adjustment event. E. And here we will use label dot set text. So text will be, we will set the text. It will be used vertical scroll bar value is R dot, what it will do, R dot get value. This is, then we will complete one by one. That means first this should be stopped. After that, so first save it. You see, it is compiled. So now we will do what? Scroll bar. You see, now if we increase it, that means vertical scroll bar value is 1. We again input this. So that means the vertical scroll bar value is 2. If we move in this position, it is showing that the vertical scroll bar value is 45. It is showing. So if we move here also and last, then the vertical scroll bar value is 90. So it is showing like this. So that means what? That means now this is the level. This is the level we have created. That's why it is created J level. And we are using final because this value is what? This value will be declared from here. So that means we have used it as a final. So that means if we move the scroll bar here, scroll bar from top to bottom or from bottom to top, according to it, its position will be shown that here now the vertical scroll bar value is 6. Same as that if we totally moved it at the top, then what? The vertical scroll bar value is 0. If we put at one position, it will be what? 1. Then again in the bottom, it will be value is shown as 2. If we move it another, then the vertical scroll bar value is what? 3. If we move it here, you can see if we move in this position, we are saying that we move in this position, the vertical scroll bar value is what? It is showing as 36. And if we totally move it at the last, then the vertical scroll bar value is 90. So that means the event is now generating from the vertical scroll bar. So this is what the scroll bar problem. Okay, so one by one, we have seen all the components we have already seen. First, we have seen the example of button, then checkbox, then what? Then the text field, then the password field. After the password field, we have seen about the objects of this text area. Then we have seen the list example, the components list, how we can use in our program. And at last, this is the what? This is the scroll bar program. So now it is clear to everyone. Till now, it is clear to everyone. Anyone has any question? Okay. So then thank you everyone. It is up to here. So thank you everyone. I am ending the session. So in next class, we will see the new topic about the networking concept that can be used in the our Java, some networking concept we will see here. And one thing, your internal should be in the previous, your internal will be come in the next week. In the next week for the Java syllabus, this Java syllabus, whatever I have taught in these classes, it will be, the questions will be from this. And one thing, I have to mention you to that I have not covered the previous things. Some up to I have started my Java class from the exceptions handling, but in the previous, whatever in the previous classes I have in the 7th semester, whatever in the object oriented programming and methodology, what you have understand the Javas, all this Java's concept will also be present in the syllabus. So that means in the 7th semester, what you have read, it will also be included in this syllabus. So that is the total Java syllabus of you. Okay. So it is clear to everyone. So I think it is clear. So then, thank you everyone. I am ending the session and I am stop sharing it